Just to think we could have been walking butt ass naked in 2026 if bitch ass Adam didn't listen to bitch ass Eve. My name's Caro. I'm a comedian, and I'm going to explain to you the Bible stories. Specifically, right now, we're going to start with Genesis 1, and then next we'll start with Genesis 2 and 3. This is my dog, Fat Girl. Say hi, Fat Girl. She's a bitch. And let's talk about what happens right in it to Genesis 1. This is the story that starts the Bible, specifically the Old Testament. What happens in it? This is where you could say it's a creation myth, but it goes beyond just a creation myth. What happens is the earth begins without form and void. That's how we're described. Darkness covers the deep. It's like this massless form. And then God begins to create things. And he specifically uses speech to create things. He says, let there be light, and then light happens. He separates the firmaments from darkness. He pulls the sky from water, land from sea, creates plants, sun, moon, and humans themselves. And he does all these things, and he makes sure to say they're all good. He makes humans male and female. Very controversial opinion, don't you think? And then he makes sure to make them both in God's image. That is very important, which I'll explain. And once God makes human beings, he makes sure that they are given dominion over creation themselves. Many people misinterpret that, but I'll explain that soon. And then, like I said, God repeats says, and it was good, and it was good, and it was good. That is very important. And let's see why. The significance of the beginning of Genesis is that it begins with chaos. Think about how when you begin your day, you wake up in the morning. You don't know what's going to happen that day. It could be the worst day, best day of life. You never know what's going to happen. But as you open your eyes, you start forming your day slowly but surely. And you start forming that possibility, and your choices give the day structure. Be it good day. Let's say you start smoking weed the first day. That's probably a good start, and it won't be a very productive day if we're being honest. That's how we do the same thing God does on a micro scale. The next thing God does, he creates things through speech in Genesis 1. We hear him say, let there be light, and then light appears. And this is significant because what this means is that speech creates order. And we can do the same thing in our lives. Think about it. Words can create relationships, establish laws. That's all they are. They're just words on a piece of paper that we all respect for some reason. We make promises. We organize people. We tell the truth. And that's the other thing. Everything he tells is true. And that is significant because truth creates order. Lies create chaos. Because eventually the lies will eventually fall apart. That's the thing we have to keep in mind. And then we talk about the image of God. When he makes human beings, he makes them in the image of himself. It doesn't mean human beings are gods, even though that'd be cool. We're not, unfortunately. We're going to die, and we're very squishy. What it means is that we share creative and moral capacities. We can know what's right and wrong, and we can create things. Like, we can imagine something and make it real. That is the craziest thing. We're the only living organism on the planet that can do those things. We can imagine something and create it. I don't think a flock of birds could ever imagine making a freaking plane or a hydrogen bomb. But we can make those things. We have that capacity, just like God, and that we can create something. And we have the power to make it good or bad in a way. Think about it. We can make art, families, businesses, communities, technology, and stories. God says that man and woman are made in his image. That means we both have dignity, responsibility, and creative potential. The potential to do good. And neither one is presented as more superior than the other. They're both seen as equal. Now, here's one thing people always get confused about in the Bible. God gives man dominion over all creation. That doesn't mean he says you're going to micromanage him or terrorize him and tyrannize him. It means stewardship. You're going to watch this because authority creates responsibility. If you're in charge of something, you have to make sure it's good. Doesn't mean they obey you or like you have complete control over them. It's like owning a house. You can own a house, but you have to maintain it. It's easy to buy a house. The hard part is maintaining that shit. And we are responsible for caring for creation. When you create something, you have to take care of it. You know, I do stand-up comedy. I have to take care of my career. I have to take care of my jokes. I create them, and it's my responsibility to refine them. The next thing that keeps repeating throughout Genesis 1, it was good. He created the sun and moon, and it was good. What does that mean exactly? What does it mean to be good? It means that creation is not fundamentally evil when we create something. When you create a book, it doesn't mean it's bad, unless it's a cookbook from Julia Childs. But it means that physical life has value in itself. Because what we see God do is that He creates, He observes, and He evaluates. We can do the same thing in our lives. You act, you examine, and you adjust. So action always precedes motivation. And then you make the changes as you go along. Now, here's another thing that's significant about Genesis 1. Each day, so apparently God created the world in 6 days. He made all creation. He made man on the 6th day. That number is significant because 6 symbolizes incompleteness. It's after 5, which is like a pentagram that's complete. It's like 3 and 2 is supposed to symbolize if you're really into occult shit, 5 is supposed to represent hermaphrodites. It's like man and woman coming together. And then 7 is divinity, which is like completion. And man is made on that day because he has dignity, he has value, but he remains unfinished. Like, we are incomplete and flawed beings. We'll always be. We are capable of growth, improving, but we will never be perfect. That is why it's significant that man is created on the 6th day. That means we are capable of so much good, yet we're always gonna fuck up. And we're gonna see what happens when man is given something to take care of in the next chapter. So this is the end of Genesis 1. Let me know what you think. This is my interpretation of it so far. And I hope to hear from you. And Fat Girl hopes to hear from you too. So, bye.